to appear as a pilot that's 10 times better than you really are, the Flex Innovations Cessna 170 G2 will accomplish that mission for you. Before the gyro Nazis start spamming our comments, no, it doesn't fly itself for you. It's configured from the factory to be a plane that flies better than anything else out on the market within its niche. It's locked, it's dialed, gyro on or off. It's got an expensive price tag that'll make you uncomfortable, but if you purchase it, you'll immediately realize that it was worth the praise you'll receive at the field because of your flying. With the 170, you're paying for more than an amazing flying airplane, you're paying for an ego and confidence boost. Flex listened. There were numerous improvements made from the G1 170 that the community requested. First up, if you've owned a G1 170, you'll know that after some abuse, the elevator CA hinges would begin to fail. Flex went ahead and replaced those CA hinges with Dubro-style hinges on the G2 model. The G1 also had crappy plastic wing bolt holes that didn't stand the test of time. Flex replaced those with proper metal inserts for your wing bolt machine screws. Let's start with one of our favorite things with the 170. They sell two versions, a day version or a night version that comes with full internal lights. Flying this thing at night is an absolute blast. The provided lights are bright enough to illuminate the ground beneath the aircraft when flying low and run on any 3S pack. There is one thing that you should be aware of as far as flying at night though. Don't be dummies like us and not properly secure your 3S LED battery before flying it. Since the lights are plugged into the balance tap of the battery, if the battery isn't secure, the connection can get tugged on, leading to an uncommanded strobe show mid-hover. Remember to secure your LED battery, or, optionally, convert the LED plug to a different connector. As far as assembly on the ground, everything was straightforward. All up, it took about 1 to 2 hours to complete. The only glue required was for the vertical stab installation. The horizontal stabs, once you plugged in the wings for the lights, are secured with a couple of pieces of clear tape, which more than do the job. We opted to go with the extreme config file setup on the Aura 8 with more aggressive 3D rates and Crow, which we plan to use at Get Down Quick for back-to-back glider tows. Stay tuned in the future for that. Changing to the extreme setup was as simple as plugging in our laptop and creating a new config file. You can optionally do it without a laptop as well, using the quick set procedure which is listed in the manual. We opted to modify the config file further to our liking, adjusting our gains to medium all across the board and reducing expo to about 30% all around. This was all personal preference. The stock files are a great starting point. The only hiccup we found in the assembly was that one of our wheel hub holes wasn't lined up perfectly for the axle, so we had to use a drill to allow it to slide onto the axle properly. Easy fix. For receiver, we went with 2 Spectrum satellites plugged directly into the Aura 8 for dual redundancy. For the wings, we have the optional wing bag, which is a great way to avoid hanger rash in transport. The single connector plugs for the wing servos was also a great touch. As we all know with model aircraft, the bigger they are, the better they fly. Once we had the battery installed with the awesome new slide in and out wooden battery tray, we took to the skies. Let's start by looking at stalls. With your flaps up, it's hard to get this model to bite. Full up, no bite, it is not dropping. It's just in a gentle little turn to the right, that's all that was. In fact, it does decent high alpha flying. If you tried inverted, well, it does do an inverted high alpha, which we've never really seen before with a scale looking model that isn't an MXS or Extra. As far as stalls with flaps down, full up elevator, holding it, no bite, it's just in a turn, no bite. Nice. Here's the only issue we found with it in flight. If you enjoy stick and rudder like we do and love forward slips, prepare for the weirdest, most backwards experience of your life. Normally when you do a slip, you give inputs known as a cross-controlled condition. This means, if you give right rudder, you'll need left aileron to keep the wing down in the slip. With the way the plane is set up from the factory, you'll need to give it right rudder and right aileron. This is because of a mix set up in the Aura designed to remove coupling during flight in a knife edge. We reached out to Kike directly to ask him about this, and he said that they opted to go this route because of previous requests on the G1 for reducing coupling during maneuvers such as knife edge loops, which it does do great by the way with the added mix. Thankfully though, if you're like us and enjoy your cross-controlled forward slips better than knife edge loops, you can remove or tone down this mix with just a few clicks in the Aura config tool. Now, let's take a look at what this thing was designed to do. 3D and precision acro. 3D flying with this bird is locked. Hovering and torque rolls are super fun, and the tail surfaces are more than large enough. Spins, rolling harriers, and stuff even beyond our abilities is more than possible. Precision acro is dialed as well. She makes for a great slow roller, 4-point roller, or any other fancy iMac Boy approved maneuver out there. It flies great in the air, but let's look at where most tailwheel models have their downfall: ground handling. Unlike other models, there was no downfall with the 170 in this category. If you want to learn tail-up taxiing, this is a great model to start with. With the flaps down, it's surprisingly easy in comparison to other models its size, such as the FMS Beaver. The firmer tires makes pavement a little bit more difficult than grass for smooth wheel landings, but this is to be expected. Flex was generous enough to send us floats with this model. After a quick and easy float assembly, we took her out to the lake. As with any model on the water, avoid giving big inputs while taxiing on step. Keep your rudder input small, and you'll be alright. One aspect of float flying we found super unique was how well it performed at a knife edge. We'll leave you guys to argue about the reason for this in the comment section, but if you've flown a plane on floats before and tried a knife edge, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. The 170 was the first of its kind to not have these issues that we've seen in other models. Oh, and who doesn't like a tail touch in the water? Adding to our previous claim about the Aura not flying the plane for you, you'll need to be prepared to use rudder and turns. Adverse yaw with the 170, as with its full-scale counterpart, is a very real thing, and we're happy to say the Aura does nothing to correct this for you. While we're talking about the Aura, let's look at what it excels at: flying in the wind. The Aura makes this model feel like it's 5 times its size while flying in 50% the amount of wind. Gone are the days of a massive wing drop from mechanical turbulence on short final. We love this model so much, we opted not to risk it with bush flying, but if this is your thing, it should take the abuse without issue. Flex even sells optional leading edge slats if that's your cup of tea. Moving from slats to flaps, the 170 comes set up with the factory to have full span ailerons mixed with plane flaps in the advanced flight mode using the stock config file. Mechanically, there's no way to get more flaps than this. The G1 170 required a secondary set of push rods to enable the full span ailerons, or you could use the stock push rods, which gave more flap travel without the full span ailerons. We get it, the plane wasn't designed for bush flying, but we do miss having the option there to get more flaps. The stock flaps have plenty enough travel for any other type of flying though, and Flex went with plane flaps rather than slotted to allow the plane to have the 3D performance it has via full span ailerons right out of the box. As far as our battery setup, we used the 6S5000 and set our timer to 5 minutes on the throttle. Speaking of, RC Battery sent us the all-new Liperiair 6S5000 that weighs in at a whopping 700 grams.
What do you think of it, bud?
Phenomenal.
We're all about saving weight, so we love flying with this pack. Stay tuned for this release from them in the near future. We can't recommend the Flex Innovations Cessna 170 G2 enough if your pockets are deep enough. It makes difficult maneuvers look easy and gives you the confidence to attempt them, all without it doing the flying for you. The best part is, you can purchase it right through us and save some money because we offer free shipping anywhere in the continental US. If you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Additionally, 78% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and help us fix that by pressing subscribe. Happy landings and bounce one on for us. We'll see you next time with a new upload.
It's durable too!